Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really big strategic shift that's happening in enterprise AI. We're seeing a move away from those rigid, all-in-one systems towards something way more flexible and, honestly, way more powerful. And trust me, this is a change that could end up touching every single industry.
Okay, so let's jump right in with a headline that might surprise you. The Pentagon, a place where names like Palantir have been king for a long, long time, recently picked Google to lead a massive new generative AI project. It's called GenAI.mel. Now, a deal like this is a huge signal. It tells you that even the most complex organizations on the planet are starting to think very differently about artificial intelligence.
So why would a tech giant like Google suddenly be stepping into a space that's traditionally been owned by specialized defense contractors? Well, to get that, we first have to understand the old way of doing things in enterprise AI. Let's talk about the monolithic platform. This is what you might call the Palantir paradigm. The idea is you buy this one immensely powerful system. It's designed to be a single, all-in-one black box that solves your most complex data problems. You buy the whole thing, and you hope it has all the answers you're going to need. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how sources describe this model. Yeah, it's powerful, but it's also called a gilded cage. Think about that. You get all this incredible technology, but you're totally locked into one vendor's way of thinking. So instead of the technology adapting to your business has to adapt to the technology.
But that Pentagon deal, it signals a major shift away from that rigid model. A completely new philosophy is taking over, and it's called the Composable revolution. And this, right here, is where the story gets really good.
This slide just lays it all out perfectly, using a fantastic analogy from the software world. The old way is like buying a pre-built cathedral. It's magnificent, it's grand, but you can't change a single stone. The new model, though, that's the bazaar. It's a bustling, open ecosystem with all kinds of different tools and services that let you build exactly what you need, piece by piece. And I love this Lego bricks analogy because it is so spot on. A company like Google isn't selling you a finished castle. They're providing the most advanced Lego bricks imaginable. Things like its data cloud, its super powerful AI models like Gemini, and all the tools to connect them. And then they're empowering companies to build their own custom intelligence engine.
So all this theory sounds great, right? But what does it actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Let's check out some real-world examples from businesses that are already building with these Lego bricks. Let's start with a true icon, a 170-year-old company, Levi's. They use this composable approach to build a machine learning model for predicting product dimensions. And the result? Get this. They achieved 90% accuracy in just 6 weeks. 6 weeks.
And you know what their huge win was? It wasn't some futuristic sci-fi concept. It was solving the very boring but absolutely critical problem of knowing the exact folded dimensions of their jeans before they're even manufactured. That one little detail is a total game changer for optimizing packaging, shipping, and cutting costs. It's a perfect example of how this new approach targets real, tangible business problems.
Okay, now let's switch gears to another industry that's been doing things pretty much the same way for 100 years, brewing. You might not think about cutting-edge AI when you're cracking open a cold beer, but that's exactly what's happening. So AB InBev used AI to tackle its incredibly complex beer filtering process. The initial goal was simple enough. Just make the filter runs last a little longer. But the success there created this amazing cascade of benefits, from huge energy savings and less waste to way more production capacity, and most importantly, a more consistent, higher quality beer. It just shows how solving one little operational problem with AI can unlock value all the way down the supply chain.
So how are these companies actually getting these kinds of results? They're doing it by building with these Lego bricks, which in this case are basically targeted AI agents. You can think of them as specialized software robots. Each one is programmed to do one thing really, really well, like an inventory agent that predicts demand, or a logistics agent that simulates shipping time.
So this obviously brings up the elephant in the room. I mean, we're talking about autonomous agents. What does this new model mean for the actual people who are doing these jobs today?
And the sources are very clear on this. The goal isn't replacement, it's about changing the nature of the work itself. The AI handles all the tedious, repetitive calculations, which frees up the human experts to become strategic curators. They oversee the system, they apply their unique context, and they focus on the high-level strategy that only a person can.
At companies like Leaf Home, this new approach completely flips the daily workflow on its head.
Instead of spending hours digging through spreadsheets and reports from a dozen different systems, a planner can now just ask the AI agent a direct question, like, hey, where can I source this part to avoid a stockout? And boom, they get an immediate, optimized answer.
This has another really cool side effect. It acts as a great equalizer. By making all of this deep operational knowledge accessible through a simple conversation, these tools empower less experienced team members. They can find answers and make really high-quality decisions on their own, without creating a bottleneck by constantly having to rely on senior staff.
So let's pull all of this together. What is the crucial takeaway from this fundamental shift we're seeing in enterprise AI? What does this move from the cathedral to the bazaar really mean for the future?
Well, it's pretty clear the future of competitive advantage isn't about buying some closed, rigid system off the shelf. It's about building your own custom, living intelligence engine with these composable tools. It's a system where specialized AI agents work in partnership with human experts to create something that's smarter and way more agile than either could ever be alone.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If this new approach to AI can totally revolutionize something as fundamental as folding a pair of jeans or filtering a batch of beer, what's that seemingly mundane, everyday challenge in your world that's just waiting to be transformed?